You know what makes an area difficult to explore? You might think it's invisible barriers or hardcore parkour, but really, it's this. I'm floating in air while standing. Makes it a bit difficult to tell what's going on. Thanks, Blizzard. Also, why is there a freaking rat all the way out here? Okay then. You're watching and you're watching part 4 of the Caverns of Time glitch series in World of Warcraft. In the last episode we finished up the and I was very glad to see that you all enjoyed the video, and I hope to keep bringing you more and more content. All support is greatly appreciated. If you'd like to show support to the channel, you can like the video or you can leave a comment below. You can also subscribe to the channel because we all know subscribing is
a paltry task.
If there's anything that is not about secrets on my channel, it's that we have covered Stratholme a ton. I mean, can you blame me? It's one of the largest out-of-bounds areas in the entire game, as well as being one of my favorite lore-based areas. We covered the out-of-bounds area in the real world, real world, but anyway, we covered the out-of-bounds area in the actual game, as well as the zones beyond Stratholme City, and we also covered the instance out-of-bounds area as well. Well, today, we're back in Stratholme, but in a completely different light. Today we cover the out-of-bounds area that exists in the Culling of Stratholme in the Caverns of Time. That makes this video part 4 of the Caverns of Time glitch series. The Culling of Stratholme is an instance that was introduced in the Wrath of the Lich King expansion and was one that I personally ran multiple times and is one of my personal favorites. Many people hated it though due to the wave and escort nature of the place. I don't really blame them, but I love the story of Arthas, and playing this instance always brought so much nostalgia at the time, and I could hardly stand it. Sometimes I would literally sit in here for hours just listening to the music after my group would have defeated Mal'Ganis.
This entire city must be purged.
Instead of completing the instance today, we search for a way to discover what lies beyond the invisible barrier. Here's how I discovered the glitch. At first I ran to the edges of the map, used my super exploration skills, and clicked randomly over and over. Then I clicked randomly with Metamorphosis and bang! Well, that was easy. In case you're wondering, all I did was stick to the path and head east, and I won't really go into detail how long it actually took me to discover this glitch. Before we get started though, I do want to say that Hidden Azeroth does have a video that has this particular instance in it. However, I didn't know that he had a video at that time. I recorded this months ago. Also, he had a druid that he used for the glitch, and I just was screwing around with a demon hunter, and demon hunters are the glitchiest class in the game. It is time to explore! Traveling on this path, you can see the scenery start to change. While technically Arthas has not started the Culling of Stratholme in this instance, the plague lands do seem to exist in this area. In a way, it kind of makes sense, as the plague was already happening when Arthas went to Stratholme. I do not think that the designers intended for this to be the case, but it certainly adds character to the instance. We are in what should be the Eastern Plague Lands. There's destroyed buildings, bridges, plague wagons, all sorts of stuff. Now, I believe that some of the scenery is completely unique to the Culling of Stratholme, such as this riverbed and destroyed camp. This other camp over here can be seen in the normal instance, but it cannot be reached by normal methods, and there's even a small graveyard here. I headed down to the south edge of the map to peek over the edge, and it looked like a typical out-of-bounds area. Continuing east near the southern border, I discovered a terrifying tree. I mean, just look at this thing. As well as a bridge over an empty riverbed. Sadly, the path ended, but I made my way to the other path that forked off earlier and continued north. There's some amazing scenery here, and it's just so weird seeing plague trees in an area that's so bright and beautiful and otherwise. They certainly don't fit. Eventually I ran into this weird looking house. How the heck does that foundation not crumble? The rest of the house sure did. While this area greatly resembles the Eastern Plaguelands, I don't think that this is supposed to be here. Continuing on, I see some weird buildings, and looks like they're troll in nature. Up on the hill, there's a larger camp with some cages included. How fun! When I hit the troll village, I also hit some mountains that I decided not to travel through, and instead just followed the mountain foothills, which then led me to a very familiar trail. There it is! It's the Ghostlands portal, an instance within an instance. I really honestly did not expect to find this here. What happens when I... Just kidding. There's a freaking bizarre pink-white bar though. What the frick is this? After that amazing discovery, I continued to traverse the foothills until I reached this tower. Unlike the towers in the Hour of Twilight, this tower can only affect the game by changing the music. Still pretty awesome, and even though there is nothing up here, it is a very beautiful view. After the view, I clearly needed to head into the mountains. Yes, this high elf area is still in here. Amazing. I could definitely see a role player using this area to build out their high elven lore. Sticking to the northwestern direction, you all knew we would eventually find the eastern Stratholme gate, but I was not expecting it to still have a portcullis that functioned. The music changes as you enter the area, and another instance can be seen. The Quincas Stratholme contains not one, but 2 instances inside of it. You said they can't travel past the portal, but dang, what an amazing discovery. This instances is by far one of my favorites that we've explored, as of yet. Now it's time for a tad bit of parkour, but the mountains are not easy to navigate. Eventually I made it to the edge of the map and it's beautiful, but we still have much more to explore. I finally reached the actual dungeon area and got a back view of Stratholme. Let's just say that it's a bit odd. Still, I went for it and I screwed up. Whoops. Can I just say that I love how you can explore the city without actually starting the dungeon run? Also, I really hope that this is removed, and I did eventually check and it is removed. But there's an NPC in here that used to be named Master Frost Siabi. This video was recorded months ago and I'm just now writing the script for it, but wow, that's bad. While I would love to explore more out of bounds parts of this map, it turned out to be quite difficult. The last part I tried to glitch through was the bookshelf that Arthas opens later during the dungeon. I was able to see past it, but I never got all the way through. On my next run through the out of bounds area in the Quincas Stratholme, I found a random pot just inside the barrier. Okay. What a great discovery. In my third attempt, I traveled along the southwest edge of the area and explored a bit of this camp over here. It looked ominous with an empty home and a fire still lit and some plagued grain. Oh yeah, there's also a skull here. Okay. Heading pretty far west took me to a small decrepit town with abandoned buildings. Going to the inn changed the music to a very sad tone. It looks like the basement is textured but unreachable. Here's what the rest of the town looked like. Along my path to the north, I saw a weird misshapen cave and avoided it. But then on the other side, noticed that it was fully textured. I didn't even attempt to explore it though, as it looked janky as heck. There's one more area I want to explore in the Quincas Stratholme instance a bit more before we explore the outer edge of the map. I will say that this was originally discovered by Hidden Azeroth. As I just watched his video as I was writing the script, I didn't know he had made a video about it. He has a full video in the out of bounds area which I honestly did not see. But I figured I would show it off as well. I will link his video in the description if you want to see what he discovered. Watching his video, I learned that druids are also broken and that demon hunters make out of bounds exploration incredibly easy. I also learned that if you jump forward at this exact area in the mountains, you can reach the chapel from the undead side of Stratholme. I explored the area a bit, but unlike most areas, there were absolutely no barriers to break my fall. So of course, I immediately make the mistake of trying to climb the wall. I will leave that area for all of you to explore because I may have missed this area like 3 times when I tried to jump towards it. Finally, last and kind of least, but also just last, I always put these white textures at the end if I can. We're going to explore the widest area you know. Starting off directly under Stratholme, it's a bit wonky at first, but less so as you get further away. There's also a freaking rat up there. What the heck is up with these rats, I tell you? One thing I wanted to check out was a pink bar we saw earlier, and it just looks so weird. As per usual, I walked over to the edge of the map and took a good look at everything. There was an incredible view of the glitch wall, but that's really about it. Also, the classic stunt we have to try is... yeah, okay, this is fairly expected. That's it. That's all I discovered here in the Quincas Stratholme instance in the Caverns of Time. You may be wondering what lies past the mountains to the south and to the west, but when I explored those areas, all I found were mountains and more mountains. I may not have been the first person to discover this glitch, but I still hope that you enjoyed this video. Thank you again for all your support, and this concludes episode 4 of our Caverns of Time glitch series. There are plenty more out of bounds areas we have to explore, so please continue to stay tuned.